We are undertaking a research to determine the online safety and security threats suffered by online activists. And we believe that the internet is providing the new expression platforms that are no longer available, that the original traditional expression platforms like radios, TVs, and newspapers are no longer available for activists. For example, I know Pepe, you can even testify, you can no longer use any of these expression platforms like you used to before. Now, most of your work has moved to online, and Timothy is also the same. He's no longer using majorly the traditional platforms. And so we wish to, how do we safeguard expression, the right to expression majorly online, because the online is providing us with the new expression platforms. These expression platforms are the only ones that are going to guarantee the freedoms of speech, assembly, association, you understand? But in that, as we do that, we also need to be mindful of our privacy online, majorly because that, for example, since the enactment of the Public Order Management Bill Act now, it's illegal to assemble or associate without permission from the authorities. Now, that law can also still go online. But before it gets online, let's also utilize the online to assemble, associate, and express ourselves immediately. And a few snapshots on our research findings, we looked at the legal framework. The legal framework realized that 1 in 100 knew about the existence of laws that govern internet in Uganda. These laws had included the Electronic Signatures Act, Electronic Transactions Act, the Interception of Communications Act, the Computer Misuse Act, the NITA Act, UCC Act, and among others. Then the Anti-Terrorism Act is also used under what we've called the cyber laws in Uganda. People not only knowing about their existence, but even the contents, yeah, because it became a challenge, because the authorities will use these laws to get to us. Two, the laws also never protected privacy. Now, the right to privacy, we list it's provided under Article 27. It's one of those rights that are continuously being infringed. Not only physical privacy, but also electronic privacy. That someone is either eavesdropping on your phones, many of the times you're on the phone, and you hear noises in the background. You ask your colleague on the other line, are you in the noisy place? He says, no, I'm in my bedroom. So literally in the middle there should be someone eavesdropping, and so we realize there's no such law that protects on that privacy. And also, we also realized that they have established a social media monitoring center. Majorly, the Ministry for Presidency is the major critic of that. He says that people are using Facebook and Twitter to abuse government. To him, expressions takes it as abusing the government. If you're not supporting us, you are abusing us. And so, the center actually looks at monitoring all the social media developments in Uganda so that government can react to whatever is being posted. This has also included of closing down some accounts. They hack in and change your password. They take the login. You can no longer do anything. Two, they have passed the government social media regulations. These now are meant for the various government agencies on how they will be performing and reacting to various social media trends. As a guideline for the government, they were developed by the National IT Authority, NITA. So now better happening below bypass. Then we also realized that all this, they aim at doing one thing: closing down the expression platforms. That they've done away with the mesa, they've done away with the radio talk shows, the TV talk shows, And even the few, they've managed to get the critics that dismissed from their workplaces. Now they're heading home into you now. Then also we looked at the entire internet governance. One, realized that there was a general ignorance of the internet use. For example, majorly government is saying that you've heard about the anti-pornography law that was passed, that our children are being exposed to a lot of child pornography. But the whole essence and the spirit of the law is not about child pornography. It's to limit us to access particular sites and particular issues. Because if internet access and utilization in Uganda is below 15%, it means 99% of users are only in urban centers who access the internet often. And access and utilization is limited to now mobile phones. Mobile internet is giving the biggest access. And it means chances of having children below 18 years with smartphones accessing the internet 24/7 are like 2%. Yeah? And so it also means that if the children can't access them, because if adults can't access internet ordinarily, how would children access the internet? Unless they are using the adults' mobile phones and computers, because all government parastatals, very few of them have internet. Now, how would we legislate for children to access the internet before even the adults access it? So the entire framework was a hoax to hide behind child pornography, but to block off adults into accessing the internet. And two, there was also technological incapacities. Many people are still, they still have the knowledge gaps of utilizing and access on the various medias. And two, and another, there was also little knowledge about what social media can do. It's not about you communicating to Jeff on Twitter and Facebook. It does many things. Majorly, for example, my Twitter account, many of the government agencies follow me on my Twitter account for one reason. So long as I'm dissatisfied with any service, I complain and they fix it immediately. Because business agencies and government agencies want to show that, to portray a public image which is good. In the long run, they have the best PR promoters online and everywhere. So if Umeme isn't giving me the service on National Water or any telephone companies, I put it out and they listen and fix it immediately. So that alone, because how do we use social media to demand for good governance, accountability, service delivery, among others. That go take pictures of schools, hospitals, in pathetic places, these roads. Until most of those potholes started going mainstream on social media groups and responding to them, there was an exhibition in London about the potholes in Africa, measured in Uganda and Kenya and Ghana, that potholes were too big to become actually fish ponds. And it goes viral. Then we have a new thinking in government that they start fixing Kampala roads. Then we also looked at limited access to the internet is limited to the urban centers. It's where we have majorly all the telephone companies located. It's where we have unlimited power supply. Rural areas are limited because one, there's no power, there's always power shortages. And two, it's expensive, the costs involved. That telephone companies find it hard to send masts to rural areas because there are very few people who are going to make calls and buy data bundles